I mean...
Okay, well, I appreciate it. My problem is I am what they call First Amendment auditor. I don't know if you've heard of us.
A what auditor?
First Amendment. We go to...
First Amendment auditor, okay.
Yes, sir. We go to public buildings. They're owned by the government, and we just go in there to film the location and to see how we are treated by the employees. So I think it was December 1st, me and a friend of mine, we went up to the west location, the West Jupiter, and I believe it was Aubrey or Audrey. She wouldn't tell us her name. Yep. She wouldn't tell us her name. But at the time, the door was unlocked, but she said there was a vendor in, and they wouldn't be open to 1. We told her we'd come back at 1, and she was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're sure." We did come back later that day, but they wouldn't let us in the door. I don't know if they were there or not. So I went back up there a few days ago, and there was a gentleman working there. I do not know his name. He refused to give me his name. I was very kind and polite to him. I can send you the videos if you have an email address.
That's okay. You don't have to do that. I take your word.
Okay, and they're on my channel, American Amy. It's just not a way to treat the public. I went to the new location. They're awesome up there.
I'm sorry, your phone cut out for a second.
Okay.
The new location.
They were very nice up there, very polite. I didn't have no problems. But these people wouldn't even tell me their name.
And what location was that?
That's the main Jupiter one. They just redid it.
Oh, the town of Jupiter.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Jupiter, okay.
Mm-hmm. And I know, I guess the other one's county. I don't know. But they're all owned by the government. And anytime somebody comes there, whether I have a camera or not, you know, he wouldn't answer my questions. I asked for some, he said if there were some forms I could fill out if I wanted to join or whatever, but he wouldn't let me take the forms with me. I said, why? What, are you short of paper or something? I don't get it. No, they're for here only. And when I called to try to talk to Aubrey the other day, I got her name off the voicemail, and when I called and talked to her, she hung up in my face. And that's just not how you treat the public.
So I do not disagree with you. I would agree, and I would, you know. So the question that I would have, questions that I would have for you is, I understand, like you said, First Amendment auditor, and you go around and kind of see how places operate, and you know, questions and things like that, and you're filming. Is there a specific thing at the facilities, like if it's at West Jupiter or another one of our facilities? Are there things that we can do, like, to help you as far as, like, is it just a matter of walking in and just filming kind of what the facility looks like? Is that kind of what it is? Or
yes.
Or what exactly? Because this is new to, so the thing that I want to just kind of say to you, Amy, is that this is something that would be new to us. You know, our team, our county employees aren't, you know, it's a new experience if someone comes in and has a camera out or has a phone out and is saying, you know, is filming and is asking names and stuff. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have given our names or anything along those lines. You know, we should always identify ourselves and things. But for people that aren't necessarily familiar with that, or if they're caught off guard, they may not know, you know, regardless of how you may have identified yourself or anything along those lines, having a camera, you know, someone with a camera on you can be, you know, intimidating. And so I'm not saying that the way that they responded is the way that they should have responded. And we have spoken, and that's something that we're going to discuss with our team, but it is something that doesn't happen every day.
Right,
You know,
and that's one reason that we
do
do it.
Right.
So the education can take place.
In the 20. Yes, and I don't disagree with you. And it's a conversation that we'll have with our team, and we're trying to educate people on the possibility of something like this, you know, happening, whether it happens regularly or it happens infrequently, or like in my time here with the county, and I've been here, you know, almost 29 years. You know, I'm not aware. Maybe someone did film me from afar, but I've never had someone walk up to me and film, and I'd be intimidated at that point too. It's just not something, you know, we don't deal with every day. I mean, maybe a police officer is more used to dealing with it every day, but it's not something that we deal with every day. Not, like I said, I'm not making excuses. I'm not saying that we responded and but I think it's also something where we're caught off guard. We're not sure what's going on.
Right.
And
It's a shame that y'all haven't been told this already. It's sad because the education, when they hire somebody, they can just tell them right then. They can show them a quick video. Hey, people may come in. But that's why, even though this was a bad experience for me, at least now you know what it is, and you, like you said, you can talk to all your employees, and you can look into the legalities of it. I promise you, it's completely 100% legal as long as we stay in the private areas. I don't go in no restricted areas, And I told Neem exactly what I was doing. Her too.
Yeah, and again, like you said, I think it's just a little intimidating, and it's something that we haven't dealt with before, right? So we're caught off guard. It's not something that we're conditioned for. And again, I'm not saying that we handle things the way 100% the way that we should have. But to your point, you're able to video. You can ask the employees their name. I would say my name is Donald Campbell. I'm with Palm Beach County Parks and Recreation Department. And if you said, hey, are we able to? Yes, you can film in the public area, the lobby, the this or that. If we're at a facility like a West Jupiter or a West Boynton or a Westgate or any of our facilities that have rental opportunities going on in there. That would be something that if there's a private rental going on, obviously you couldn't go in that area or in that room because someone's paying to have a rental in there. It's their private, group, whether it's a or a meeting or whatever that may be. But to your point, we have to educate and we have to be aware of that, and we'll do our part to make sure that our team is better if a First Amendment auditor, whether it's you or someone else, goes in there. The only thing that that we would ask, and I'm sure that you guys were, the only thing that we would ask is that when people go in there and in that situation, is that they're respectful and courteous to the team that's in there and stuff as well, because it is something that's going to be they're going to be unfamiliar with it, right? How do you react to that? And there's situations where people say certain things, and then when that situation happens, they forget everything, right? Because it hasn't happened yet, and I'm caught off guard or whatever. So that's the only thing that I would ask. But from a standpoint of, for you, the financial auditor, is the north part of the county, are those the facilities that you go to? Do you go throughout the county?
Oh, I go anywhere in Florida, in any building I see that's public. Whether I'm usually in the West Palm area, but I've been as far as Punta Gorda, Sarasota. If there's a public building, I don't care if it's a library, police department. If it's owned by the public, we're gonna go in there. If it ain't me, it's gonna be somebody else. I've been in all of the Jupiter buildings. This is the only one I've had a problem at that I can recall.
And again, I'm going to apologize on our department's behalf and our team's behalf, and say that it is something that we're working on to educate the team on. And but it's also something that would have been a surprise and something that they weren't familiar with. We should have no issue with identifying ourselves and saying our names and stuff, if that's what you're asking. And it's, like I said, as long as people are being respectful and courteous in the way that they're asking something, there shouldn't be any issue. But there are times where right, and I'm not saying you weren't. I'm just saying that there are times where we have had interactions with the public where it is not a very, people get aggressive, they become belligerent, and we disengage.
Right.
We'll disengage.
Because you want to de-escalate.
If we're going to have a conversation, right, yes, to de-escalate. Because if we're gonna have a conversation like this, it's not. I'm not gonna escalate it. I'm gonna try to de-escalate it by. Unfortunately, we're not gonna have this conversation anymore, and blah blah blah, and we go from there. So I hope that you can appreciate that, and I'll make sure that, like I said, I try to do my best to educate our team and hopefully go from there. Now, just for my information, because I think it's interesting what you do when you say that you go all throughout Florida. Do you live locally, like in West Palm Beach, or do you have like several residents?
No, I live in like
the Panhandle, or if you're.
No, I live in West Palm Beach, and I don't always, travel that far, but I have, you know, I mainly do Palm Beach County, but I have been to other cities in Florida.
Amy, that's interesting. I think that's I mean, to be able to go to different, like you said, Punta Gorda, right, over on the West Coast. And
yes,
that's interesting. So as a First Amendment auditor, it's strictly government buildings that you go into.
Yes.
Like it wouldn't be like it's not like some private business. It's a government. Okay.
It's all government. Now, I have walked into the mall before with my camera, and I was asked to cut it off, and I did. You can go in any private business. Well, I don't generally do that, you know.
Right.
But that day there was a cop up there,
and is it,
so that.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That drew my attention, you know. So.
The VA hospital.
Yeah, in the VA hospital. I've been there. I can film
nice.
it because it's owned by the government. But of course, you know, again, I stay only in the public areas. I'm not going to be going in patient rooms or nothing like that.
Right, that's correct. Yeah, and that's just some of the things, right? So like if our staff had to go back and finish some work in the office or something along those lines, then they would be back in the office and you could film in the common area and stuff like that if you needed to.
Right. I didn't even, you know.
I've never heard. I don't know that I've ever heard. That's interesting, though. I think that's fascinating that you do this. And the goal is to just kind of get an idea of what the facilities look like and what goes on in the facilities.
Right. And transparency. And it's a First Amendment right to be able to video and to make sure that they don't try to stop us from videoing. Right. I mean, sometimes they do. Sometimes they'll even call the police. That guy asked me if he needed to call the police. I said, you can. And then he said he could have the cops come up there and serve me. I don't want to pay whatever cops get paid to do his job, you know. And he kept just referring me to websites. You know, why are you here then? You know, why is he getting paid for? And why would I want to call a cop over there to do his job? That don't make sense. So.
Well, I'm not sure what the conversation was that you had, but I promise you that we've had, and we'll continue to have a conversation with our team. And
thank you.
And again, the only thing that I would, you're welcome. And the only thing that I would ask, and I know that you were, is that whether it's with any of our county buildings or in a town of Jupiter or any other municipality or state building, is just, you know, it's. For me, it would have been a shock. It would have been something new to me to have a camera and someone asking those things.
And I told him when I got in there why I was there. I said, I'm here to, you know, take some pictures of the building. And then, you know, I also asked them both their name, and neither one would give it. But I can understand if they weren't familiar, and that's why, like I said, one reason I do it is for education. So the people that don't know can learn. That way nobody has to be treated the way I was treated.
Well, and again, and I apologize for any misunderstanding and how the interactions went, and that's something that we will follow up with our team on and discuss that and make sure that everyone understands, you know, how we should handle these situations. And we'll go from there.
Okay, well, thank you, and you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
You as well, Amy. And if you ever have any questions or, you know, any concerns or any compliments or whatever that you feel, you know, or deserve one way or the other, feel free to call me.
I sure will.
And I'd be more than happy to speak with you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. You take care. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, the man I spoke with today was very kind. All I had in the background of this was part of the videos I had taken up there and pictures of the two people who would not identify. Hopefully this man's going to talk to him, and I forgot to tell him, but there will be a revisit. I'm going to give him a little bit of time, and definitely I will revisit and see if they really got the education. Thank you for watching. My name is American Amy. Both of these videos are on my channel.